In a quiet little village surrounded by green hills and colorful flowers, there lived a tiny sparrow named Sammy. Sammy was smaller than all the other birds. His wings were short, his voice was soft, and he often felt scared to fly far from home. Every morning, Sammy sat on the branch of an old mango tree and watched the other birds fly high in the sky. "I wish I were brave like them," Sammy would whisper. One sunny morning, Sammy's mother smiled and said, "Being brave does not mean being the biggest bird. It means trying even when you are afraid." Sammy thought about her words all day. That night, the sky sparkled with thousands of stars. Sammy loved stars more than anything. He especially loved one tiny golden star that twinkled brighter than the others. "I will call you Little Star," Sammy said happily. From that night on, Sammy spoke to Little Star every evening. One windy night, dark clouds covered the sky. Rain began to pour heavily. Thunder roared loudly across the village. Sammy hid inside his nest, trembling. Suddenly, he heard a soft cry. "Help! Help!" Sammy peeked outside. Near the riverbank stood a tiny rabbit named Rosie. She was lost in the storm. "Oh no," Sammy gasped. The river was rising quickly, and Rosie looked frightened. Sammy's heart beat fast. He wanted to help, but he was scared of the storm. Then he looked up at the sky. Between the clouds, Little Star shone brightly. Sammy remembered his mother's words. Being brave means trying even when you are afraid. Sammy took a deep breath. "I can do this," he whispered. He flapped his small wings and flew into the storm. The wind pushed him left and right. Rain splashed into his eyes. But Sammy kept flying. "Rosie," he called. "I'm here," Rosie cried. Sammy landed beside her carefully. "Don't worry," Sammy said kindly. "I'll help you get home." "But the storm is too strong," Rosie said nervously. Sammy thought for a moment. Then he noticed an old wooden bridge nearby. It looked slippery, but it was the only way across the river. "Follow me slowly," Sammy said. Rosie carefully stepped onto the bridge while Sammy flew beside her. Creak. The bridge shook loudly. Rosie stopped moving. "I'm scared," she whispered. Sammy was scared too, but he smiled bravely. "Look up," he said. Rosie looked toward the sky and saw Little Star glowing softly through the clouds. "It's beautiful," she said. "And it's guiding us," Sammy replied. Step by step, they crossed the bridge safely. When they finally reached the other side, Rosie hugged Sammy tightly. "Thank you for saving me," she said. Sammy smiled shyly. For the first time in his life, he felt brave. The next morning, the storm had passed. Bright sunshine filled the village again. News of Sammy's bravery spread everywhere. The birds chirped proudly. The rabbits clapped happily. Even the wise old turtle nodded with respect. "You are a very brave sparrow," he said. Sammy blushed. That evening, Sammy sat on his favorite mango tree branch and looked at the sky. "Thank you, Little Star," he whispered. To his surprise, a gentle glowing light floated down from the sky. Sammy's eyes widened. Standing before him was a tiny star fairy with sparkling golden hair and shining silver wings. "Hello, Sammy," she said softly. Who are you?" Sammy asked. "I am the guardian of Little Star," she replied with a smile. "Little Star watched your kindness and bravery tonight." Sammy could hardly believe it. "You helped someone even though you were afraid," the fairy continued. "That is true courage." Sammy smiled proudly. The fairy waved her glowing wand gently. Suddenly, Tiny golden lights danced around the tree like fireflies. "For your brave heart," she said, "Little Star has a gift for you." "A gift?" Sammy asked excitedly. The fairy nodded. "Whenever someone feels scared or lonely in this village, your song will give them hope." Sammy looked surprised. "But my voice is so soft," he said. The fairy smiled warmly. "The softest voices sometimes carry the biggest kindness." Then she disappeared into the night sky. Sammy sat quietly for a moment. Then he opened his beak and sang. It was the sweetest song the village had ever heard. The flowers seemed to dance. The wind became gentle. Even the sleepy moon looked brighter. From that night on, whenever storms came or someone felt sad, Sammy sang his magical song. The children in the village loved listening to him. Rosie the rabbit visited him every day. And every night, Little Star twinkled proudly above the mango tree. Years passed, and Sammy became known as the Sparrow of Hope. But he never forgot the lesson he learned that stormy night. You do not have to be big to be brave. You only need a kind heart and the courage to try. And somewhere high above the clouds, Little Star continued to shine brightly, watching over the tiny sparrow who once thought he could never be brave.